Okay, I'll introduce it. Okay, we're going to look at the wedding sweep series, or I think someone called it the cradle sweep, or the rocking the baby. I think Andre Galval called it today. I learned this technique when I was a blue belt, maybe 8 years ago. I play half guard with the lapel, and then one day I switched my hand, and I just started playing from this position. At the time, it didn't have a name. Recently, I've been looking on YouTube at other people using it, and a guy called, I think he's called Brian from Teach Me Grappling, he called it the wedding sweep. So I just describe it as the wedding sweep because that's the first name I've seen associated with this position. So we're going to look at some entries into this position. First, I'm going to go into the position so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I'm in this position here, what it involves is, it involves a deep underhook, and my other arm can hug this side leg. Or in the gi, we can grab this lapel or the belt. So this is the position. Underhook, underhook the leg. Okay, so we're going to look at some entries. So probably the most common entry for me is coyote guard. So if Mauricio is crossing my leg here and I've got my underhook, what I do is I take out the lapel. I'm going to have to make him base a little bit, and then I pass the lapel to this hand. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow him to kind of pass, and as he does, I'm pulling my elbow in, so as he passes, I switch. So if Mauricio just postures up for me a little bit, if you can see, my hand has got this lapel now. So I'm in the position I want to be in. Okay, so one more time in this position. I'm here in coyote guard. I pull this out and I pass. As he goes to pass, I circle my hand in and I come to this position. So this hand's on the lapel. This hand will grab the hip or the belt. In no gi, I will just control the leg and the hip. So we'll look at half guard. So half guard, I'm going to start setting up like a half guard lapel game. So maybe I'll pull this lapel out first, and I'll sit up and get my underhook. Now I'm going to turn the corner and go under his leg with my underhook arm. So I pull and I go under the leg. Now I pass the lapel. Now I'm going to change my feet over. Hand on the floor, come up. So I'm in like a dogfight position. Change my arm, and now I'm in the same position. Once I'm in this position, I like to clear this leg. I like to clear this leg because a lot of the time if I'm here, if he rolls, he can pull me into like a leg entanglement. But if I clear the leg and he rolls, then I'm just going to follow him. We'll just do it from we'll do it from like a side-on perspective so you can see. We in frame?
We are.
Okay.
Just move
this way
there
a bit. Okay. So we're here. I sit up. I turn the corner and I go underneath his leg. Now I change my feet over. Come up. So I'm in a dogfight position. Now I'm going to change this hand here and this hand here. Then I like to clear this leg. The last one is going to be from mount. So Mauricio is going to mount me. And a lot of the time, let's go that way a little bit. Just this way a little bit. There we go. So a lot of the time in this position, I'll try to go to an armbar. And what Mauricio will do is, he'll put his hands on the floor and come to like an S mount. So as I turn, just put your hands on the floor, Mauricio. As I turn, he comes up into this S mount position. So what I'm doing is, I'm turning knowing he's going to do this. So what I do is I drive both my hands under his leg here. And then I try to go flat, and then he changes his leg, and I catch his leg in this position. So as long as I've got this underhook with this hand, I'm in a safe position. And now I've got this leg here. So if we do it again. So what I'll do is I'll just get Mauricio to sit on top of me with two legs. And I'll go to like this position. So let's say we're in this position, okay? He needs to pass either side. Whichever side he goes to pass. So if he goes to this hand, catches that leg, and this hand comes in for an underhook. What he needs to do is make sure he gets the underhook. If he gets the underhook here, this position's dead. But if I'm close here, this position's good. And now the problem is that as he fishes for the underhook now, I can come up. See, that's an overhook, so try to come inside. See, as he comes inside, I get deeper. And I'm more around to his back. But I need to catch this leg. And because I'm in the gi, I'm going to take a grip of this. This controls his posture, so if he tries to come back up to his knees now, it's more difficult. I've got better control, because he can't posture up and use any power from this position. So that's 3 of the most common entries to get into this position. Okay, so the first technique we're going to look at, is rolling our partner over. So once you get into this position, the most dangerous thing for this person is, I'm going to take his back. So what he's going to do is, he's going to put a whizzer in or an overhook. And that's going to stop me from running around and taking his back, okay? So we'll just start in the position. So let's do from the dogfight position. So I'm in the dogfight position here, okay? I've stood up, I change my hand, and I get deep. So what I want to do is, you see how he's got this underhook here? I want to keep this. So what I'm going to do is I clear the leg first, and I'm going to try to run up his back. So I go up his back here. Now, because I'm really tight now, I kind of hug him in this position. If I'm loose, he can just take his arm in and out whenever he wants, right? And I want his arm to stay here. So as I run to the round here, I'm up on my foot here, and I'm on my knee. And I'm going to not roll him over my side, I'm going to roll over my shoulder. And I'm pulling him tight. So I stand up and I roll over here. So I'm using my legs as a pendulum. Let's just move back a little bit. There we go. So we're in this position here. I step around as if I'm going to circle him. I jump up, roll, and I can use the lapel to push here and pull. I push it at first, and I come up into this position, in like a cradle position. Let's do it again. So, oh. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll put that in. There we go. So we do it again?
Yep.
So, I'm here, in this dogfight position, change here, walk around, and as I pull him tight now, I roll over my shoulder, my legs come over as a pendulum, I push the lapel, and this helps me direct him and drive him over. I'll just show you what I do with my feet from the back. So if you just sit here, Mauricio. So, first of all, we're in this dogfight position. I change my hand and I go here. I clear the leg, and then I run here. And now I'm going to jump on him, pull him over, and push here. So that's the first attack. So the second attack is, he pulls his arm out and he counters. Maybe I don't get round enough, or maybe it's no-gi and it's slippy. Whatever the reason, he pulls his arm out and he bases. This is where it's good to have a belt grip or a pant grip. In no-gi you can cup the hip, but obviously in the gi it's a lot stronger to use the actual kimono. So we'll just start in this position again. So I'm here, and I've got the belt. For example, now if you see my hand is grabbing the belt. So what, in my head, every time I do this sweep, I always have to think he's going to base. So I have to have a counter to this base. And the game can be me trying to base him and me trying to take his back. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Maybe I'm not as tight here, or whatever, for whatever reason his arm's loose. As I go to roll him, he bases. Now what I do is, my legs are like a pendulum. They're going to swing back. As they swing back, I pull his hip to the floor and I come up on my bottom arm. So I come here and I pull him down here. So his hip's on the floor and my hand's on the floor. Once I get to this position, it's going to depend very much on what my opponent does. But as I pull him down, I try to come up and get into the collar here. I've got this still on the belt, and I can move to this arm. Depends on, again, it depends on what he does, depends on whether or not he accepts this pull, or whether or not he fights it and tries to go to turtle. Let's check this is on blue, yep. So again, I'll try and roll him and he's going to base, okay? So let's just move this way a little bit. Okay, so we're in this position here. Okay, step, I go to roll, he bases, my legs are a pendulum, so now they're going to swing back. and I pull him down. And straight away I come into the collar. Now, however you want to finish, or whatever back take you prefer, or however your coach teaches you to do it, an attack from here, that's fine. So I'll just do it one more time. So, we're in this position again. Just wrap my arm. Okay. So I go to swing and my legs are important. If I'm flat, if my legs are on the floor, I can't have the momentum to swing back. So I'll just show you what that looks like. If I go like this, now I can't swing back. There's just no way. Yeah. I really need my legs to pendulum. So as I come here, my legs go up and over. As he bases now, I swing my head up, push him down, come up, and I chase his back. I want to get my chest on his thoracic spine here. Okay, we'll look at some other common attacks from this position. A lot of the time it's based on what my opponent does, and sometimes they do something which feels right, but is very wrong. Okay, so what we're going to do is, sometimes when I'm in this position, what this person does is they sit on this hip. So they're like, they sit on the hip like this. They feel like this is going to stop both of them techniques, which it will do. Like, I can't roll him now, and obviously I can't take his back because his weight's on top of me. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go belly down and walk away from him. So I walk backwards here, and I go belly down. Now, the hand on the belt is going to pull him down, and I'm going to lift him up with the lapel hand. And we're back flat on the floor. Because he's got no base behind him. And he can't turn properly. So we're here. And what I like to do in this position is, if he sits like this, I will crawl my fingers up higher. This makes it tighter now. Now I'm gonna like hip escape or walk backwards, go flat. Now I'm just gonna pull him into the space behind him. Again, if you see his arm can't base because he's stopping me from taking his back, and he's got no leg behind him. So now I'm just pulling down into this position. Come up and turn him. This one's super easy. A lot of people do this and then you just tip them over. So the next technique, which is another easy technique. Sometimes, for a moment, once I'm in this position here, what this person will do is they will stand up on this leg and posture up. So they stand up on this leg. There, they'll do this. I copy them, so I'm in the exact same position as them. And again, there's no base behind me. So I step, lift the leg, and I pull him in a circle and put them on the floor. We'll do it facing this way, just so. That's it. Okay, so. So we're in this position. I've got the lapel. He steps up. I step up. I'm going to step closer to him and turn. So I pivot on my knee here, and I lift his leg, spin him in a circle. This one's super easy. Okay. So the last technique from this position is going to be like get into the truck or octopus guard. And we can do this two ways. It's the same way, but we're either doing it no gi or gi. So the first one we're going to look at is gi. So I'm here. I was in this guard, which is lapel half guard or proto guard, I think Keenan Cornelius calls it. I change my hand, I go here, and I like to lie on the floor. So once I'm here on the floor, what my opponent will do is they'll sit on their hip again, and they'll let go of the overhook. And I'm not going to hold on at the moment. He's going to turn to face my legs. So he turns, and he comes up and move your hip backwards towards me. So he wants to do this, because he feels this is the safer option, okay? So we'll do it again. So once he goes to turn, I take my hand out, and I step over his far leg. And I'm going to replace my hand on the lapel. On the lapel. What this enables me to do is to bring forward shrimp here, and catch his foot in this position. So I'm in the truck now. Okay, you can triangle your legs here, or you can start to try to get like a type of hook. Just straighten your leg for me, Mauricio. Yeah, so you can try to get this position, or you can just triangle your legs. So I've got control of this, and this is the grip I had. So again, trying to crush me. Okay, so we'll do it from this angle, I think. So, again, however you got there, coyote guard or dog fight. No. Wait, just wait. So, I lie on my side. Just turn this way a bit. So, Mauricio starts to do the first bit where he turns to his hip. So he turns to his hip, now he turns to face me. As he does, I trap his leg. Look, this, I can hold two hands on this lapel, which prevents him from turning. But my legs trapped his leg, I swap, kick underneath. So now my bottom leg's forwards, and my leg's trapping. I can hold his leg, or I'm just hold the lapel tight. And because of this grip, if he tries to turn any more, try to turn more this way, very hard for him to turn. I'm going to forward shrimp underneath him. So I forward shrimp, pull him up with this hook into this position. And I can just hold this lapel. If you want, you can switch to the leg control. Depends what he does with his leg. If he brings his leg down to me, here, then I can maintain this lapel grip, just from turning. Or I can start to hook him here. Okay, and then you can enter the back. Okay, so unfortunately the lapel mic I'm using seems to have packed in, stopped working. So if we look at it from this perspective again, I angle round, so I was in the dogfight position with the lapel. I change my hands and then I clear the leg and I lie down on my side. My partner's going to turn to face my legs. As he does, I trap his leg with my top leg and I take my underhook arm out and grab his lapel. I then switch my legs so my bottom leg comes through. I'm going to forward shrimp off that leg and pull him up and over. So I end up in the truck position here. So I can just triangle my legs here, or I can straighten them and use like a lockdown. I can control his foot with my other hand, or I can just maintain the lapel grip, or I can grab just his leg and like a banana split position. Then you can start looking to take the back from here. Obviously, if you're a brown belt or black belt, you can start looking for calf slices. So we're going to run through it again. I'm just going to hold his leg here. So instead of having his lapel with my bottom hand, I'm just holding his leg. Now I take my underhook arm out, clasp my hands together in an S grip, and I step over and trap his leg. I can use a twister hook here. Sometimes I don't though. People who've got bad knees probably don't use twister hooks. Forward shrimp underneath, lock up my triangle, and then I can just maintain leg control in this position and take the back from the truck. So I'm S gripping. If you can see my hands, my fingers are interlocked. So we're just going to do one technique that I prefer in the no-gi. This is me locking my hands around his far hip. So I'm going to get into the same position. I'm going to hold his leg. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk towards his feet, get deeper, and I bridge through and lock my hands together here in an S grip. So if I just move to, I can show you my legs. I'm going to walk further around the back, going lower down on his body with my head. And then I bridge up and push my hand through. And then I connect my hands in an S configuration. I move closer to him and I roll over my shoulders. So my hips are off the ground in this position and I'm rolling from one shoulder to the other. When I finish here, I'm using my arm that's through to pin his bottom leg, just to slow him down from forward shrimping and turning to face me. So if we get back into the same position, that's the lapel mic. I'm trying to sort my lapel mic out. I don't even realize it's not working because I'm a monk. I connect my fingers together here. So I bridge through, go low down, bridge through, reach, lock my fingers together. And now I'm going to bridge over. So my hips are up and I'm going to roll in from my right shoulder to my left shoulder. So here, I try to maintain the bridge arc. Push up, roll over. As I roll, I switch and control the bottom leg. And try to keep on top of his top leg with my chest, just to stop him from regarding. So this is like in judo, kezekatami. This is how a lot of judokas escape from this position. What they're going to do is they're going to connect their hands together. They're going to pull their butt close to theirs, bridge onto their shoulder and roll to the other shoulder. And that's how a lot of judokas will escape this position. Okay, that's it. We've covered what we've taught this past few weeks in Stealth Madrid. I'll probably get a load of shit for this terrible editing, but that's just the way it goes. My lapel mic broke, so there's not much I can do about it. Alright guys, thanks very much.